Welcome to this session on the Common IELTS Speaking Questions, Part 1. Today we're going to improve vocabulary and give you ideas. I have Paish to help me with some vocabulary. So today's topic is writing. Hello, Paish.
Hello.
So when do you write?
Well, I write whenever I need to record any information, as well as communicate with anyone that I need to as well, whether that be my friends or in university as well. I write all my thoughts down, all my communications and such, and as a result, writing is a big part of my life.
And do you write things like notes or emails, maybe shopping lists or birthday cards, or even letters?
Mainly for me, it would be the first two things. I think notes for my university classes is very important for me to write down, as well as emails, mainly to coordinate with my teachers, as well as just organize any errands and activities for my subjects. Those are the main things I write these days. Unfortunately, letters aren't too big a part of my life, even though they are really cool as a mechanism for communicating for me as well.
And let's look at some higher level vocabulary. So that was great. Can you talk to me about stationery? What do you think stationery is?
Stationery to me are those items and like utensils you find in a classroom that helps with the process of things such as writing. In my mind, I have examples of pencils, pens, a ruler, erasers, all those day-to-day items that you'd find and use in the classroom setting and in the business setting as well to help with writing and those activities.
Yeah, things that you might use to make notes, and also a notebook as well.
Yes.
So on that, what do you think the difference is between make notes and take notes?
For me, even though they are very similar concepts, to make notes, I feel like is putting your version or spin on information you've been given. So when I make notes, it's probably when I've heard some new details or facts, and then I put my interpretation of how it's relevant. In contrast, taking notes is probably just directly taking the information from another source and writing it down so you can look through it later.
Although sometimes I do, and I know people do use these words interchangeably. So you
Yes,
can make
absolutely.
notes or take notes. Great. Now, this is a tricky one. When people say, oh, I just need to jot something down, what does that mean?
Ooh, to jot something down to me is like when you have an idea or a thought and you really don't want to forget it. It's a really good idea to jot it down and make sure you have an official record of it somewhere so you can look back on it later or you can look at it when it actually is relevant to you. So to jot something down is to make sure you have some record or some documentation of that, I think.
And to jot something down is to do it quickly, like I'm quickly going to write it down. Great. So I know this is an old saying, but what does it mean when someone says to write a check?
To write a check, as you said, it is a bit of a more old saying, but it means to just write out a sum of money to someone in order to facilitate an exchange of money or facilitate a transaction in that sense.
Yeah. So right now we usually have cards. Great. Now, to get something in writing, so maybe someone says, oh, we need to get that in writing. What does that mean?
To get something in writing is to have an official document of something. Usually you'd want to get something in writing in order to make sure that there are no disagreements about the specifics or details about the agreement that's been reached, as well as just to get official documentation of the event to make sure that everyone is aware that some agreement or some decision's been met, and that having gotten that in writing means that there'll be no disagreements in the future.
Great. And now this is a bit trickier. To see the writing on the wall. That's a phrase. So sometimes people might use it in a situation and they might say, oh, she didn't see the writing on the wall that she was going to get fired. Now, what might that actually mean?
Well, to me, to see the writing on the wall is to see the signs or like potential evidence for certain things that are about to happen. For instance, to see the writing on the wall that you may get fired, it may be seeing maybe how your boss is interacting with you or seeing your performance reviews. So seeing pretty much the signs that the universal world is giving you that something may happen in the future, the red flags, one may say.
And often it seems obvious to other people. Great. So it's now time to ask some questions.
Awesome.
So, Paige, how often do you write with a pen and paper?
Unfortunately, I must say I don't often write with pen and paper these days because most of my learning, study, and communication is done online. It's usually done through a laptop or an iPad where I can just type away. And as a result, I haven't used a pen and paper too much in my day-to-day life these days, unless my teacher specifically asks me to write down notes or do a paper with my hand.
Great. And do you prefer writing on paper or typing? I mean, I think we know, but what do you prefer?
Honestly, I do prefer typing just because I feel like there's way more control over editing past mistakes because you can just hit backspace and go backwards. There's way more flexibility with your style of writing, changing your fonts, the color, the bolding, the underlining. Meanwhile, when you're writing by hand, it's much more difficult to make changes and you have to be much more conscious about how legible, I guess, your writing is.
And do you have good handwriting on that topic?
It definitely depends on who you ask. I personally think that I do have good handwriting, but then again, I guess it's all up to the person reading your writing if you actually do.
Yes, very true. Well, great. I loved your vocabulary, Paige,
Thank you so
and
much.
I hope you guys learned some interesting vocabulary. Don't forget to leave some of your ideas in our comments, and I'll see you in another ideas video. Bye.